morning. My name is Lori Grossman. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator at Park Day School, and this is amazing. My wildest dreams, 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, this woman named Laura Mandel calls me up, and she tells me that she's going to change the world. She tells me that she has this idea that bringing children together from different backgrounds could really make a difference in human relations. And I thought, that sounded great. But you know what? We do great work at Park Day School. We have plenty of diversity. Our teachers will never give up a week of their time, of their teaching time. She wouldn't get off the phone with me. 15 minutes later, she convinced me to give her 15 minutes. 2 days later, it was 2 hours, and I was completely convinced. I then started working on our teachers, and sure enough, they were convinced. And ever since then, Mosaic has really been an institution at Park Day School. So what does that mean? It means that I can come into my office sometimes at 10:30 in the morning, and I'll hear Mosaic songs. And it just gets me this, and I start singing. It makes my day. It means that every Wednesday when our fifth graders are serving pizzas, a fundraiser so that they can go to Napa, all the little kids are watching them and knowing that they're going to serve pizza and they're going to get to go to Napa. It also means that these very special events we have, Care Week, Pride Day, we bring in Mosaic because they are so good at this work. Nobody better. So they've been doing in-school programs with us for years. The very first year that Mosaic ran programs, I got to go. And I was even more floored. I could not believe what was going on. So at the end of the week, I said to Laura, I've been working on social justice issues my entire life, and this is the most important social justice work I know of. I'm joining your board. She let me, which is why we're still friends. Anyway, my kids, there's two stories at Park Day School that I think really exemplify why this program is so vital. First, there was a parent who said, we can't afford a week away. Your kids need to do more math. 2 weeks later, after her child returned from the program, she wrote me a letter and she said, I want you to know that I'm examining my own prejudices. We all are, and our dinner conversations have changed. I was eavesdropping at a holiday party, listening to this woman describe picking up the kids from Mosaic. We did carpools. She was walking down this trail looking for the kids, and she was going to ask this kid who was approaching her where they were. It was her child. She didn't recognize him. The reason was he exuded all this confidence. And after a week of his being home, she realized that what he realized was if he was supposed to accept everyone else, that meant they had to accept him too. And that still gives me goosebumps. And it's not sort of one of the things Mosaic is doing, but look what Mosaic is doing. My own kids, who would be here except they're both away at college, have had Mosaic experiences. My daughter was not old enough to go to Mosaic as a fourth or fifth grader, but she went as a youth leader. She was astonished at the diversity of the staff of the Mosaic Project. You've seen that this morning. She was astonished at how well everybody got along. And she wrote about it in her college essays. My son got to go in the first group and loved it. He became a youth leader twice. The last time was last spring. He was a senior in high school, and the day he was supposed to get home was the senior prom. So I said, don't be late. Needless to say, half an hour, he bops in. He's ecstatic. He's just, this is the best. Oh, I love it, I love it. His girlfriend was not so excited, waiting for him to come home from the senior prom. And then 2 days later, Monday morning, my kid, skateboarder, cool, graduating senior boy, takes out his little Mosaic necklace and puts it on Monday morning. And I am astonished. And on the other hand, I'm not the least bit surprised.
So my name is Albie Chan, and you might recognize me from that video earlier. But if you don't, it's okay. It's been 10 years, and I've gotten a little older, a little wiser, and a lot better looking, so it's okay. So why am I here today? Well, it started about 10 years ago, and I was actually given an amazing opportunity to travel to Ecuador to do community service. And that's where I met Laura. She was a group leader, and pretty quickly, like Lori, I realized how phenomenal of a woman she is. And So you quickly realize, like, she's just got so much energy, she's so passionate, and she's really committed to go all the way to make this world a better place. And that's essentially why I'm here, still. So after we came back to the States, she said, Albert, I have this great idea, social experiment, you know. We're going to bring these kids together, and I think it's going to help. I think the world has too much fear, too much prejudice, and all this miscommunication. And I think we should work with the kids. And I was like, that sounds good. I'll give it a try. I'm young. So I signed on to be one of the first youth leaders at the first pilot session in 2001. And from day one, it was magical. I don't think it's very often where you can sit with a group of kids and then they can just start talking about, you know, video games and you know, school teachers, and then they start talking about the discrimination and racism they've seen in their own personal lives. These are topics that adults get squeamish about, okay? And we have kids talking about this. It's amazing. But what really floored me when I was this youth leader was watching these kids say, yeah, I've seen this problem, I think it's bad, but then there's a seamless transition into what can they do. Very quickly, they start brainstorming about ways they can change the environment around them. And that was what just inspired me for the rest of my life. And that's why I became a staff member later on, and now I'm a full-fledged board member. Being good-looking helps, right? So, let's see. That threw me off track. All right. So really, the main message I have is the magic is real. I take it from one of the original youth leaders, okay? And just to give you an idea of the impact, like, okay, you go to camp, it's an amazing experience. It's 1 week, right? But I've personally seen how it carries long term. One of the kids, actually several of the kids that were one of my original students in the pilot session came back and became a cabin leader. And what's even more crazy is their students came back and are giving back to Mosaic. They came and they're, I think here today, are now part of the first Mosaic Children's Board. Right? So how lucky am I to be able to see this whole generational change right before my very own eyes? Very lucky. So I don't like speaking in front of crowds. I'm not going to lie. But I'm that lucky to want to come here and celebrate 10 years of transforming lives with you all and inaugurate the next 10. Thank you.